Nestled in the heart of Japan's Hyogo Prefecture stands Himeji Castle, often hailed as one of the most spectacular and well-preserved feudal castles in the country. With its gleaming white walls and elegant architecture, it looks more like a fairy tale fortress than a place shrouded in mystery. Yet beneath its majestic appearance lies a chilling story whispered through generations, a legend that has captivated and unsettled visitors for centuries. This is the tale of Okiku's Well, an eerie site on the castle grounds linked to the restless spirit of a young servant named Okiku. Himeji Castle, sometimes called the White Heron Castle due to its bird-like appearance, has stood since the early 17th century, weathering wars, natural disasters, and countless changes in Japan's turbulent history. Its walls and corridors have witnessed the lives of samurai, lords, and servants, entwining tales of honor, betrayal, and tragedy. However, among all the stories held within its ancient timbers, none is as haunting or as enduring as that of Okiku. Deep within the castle grounds lies a quiet, unassuming well, now known simply as Okiku's Well. The well itself is fairly ordinary, stone-lined and dark, but the legend that surrounds it is anything but. Local folklore tells of a young servant named Okiku who worked in the castle many years ago. She was known to be diligent and kind-hearted, yet fate wove a dark thread through her story. According to the legend, Okiku served a samurai lord who had become increasingly suspicious and cruel. It is said that the lord owned a set of 10 precious and valuable plates, family heirlooms or treasures depending on the version of the story. When one day it was discovered that one of these plates was missing, suspicion immediately fell on Okiku. Despite her protests and pleas of innocence, she was accused of having lost or stolen the prized plate, a crime considered grave and unforgivable. The Lord, enraged and unreceptive to any explanation, decided to punish Okiku in a horrifying way. Some versions say she was thrown into the very well on the castle grounds, others that she was tortured before being discarded there. The details differ, but the outcome is grim and clear. Okiku met a tragic and untimely death associated with the well. This cruel fate birthed a chilling legend that has endured through the centuries. The local tale claims that Okiku's spirit could not rest. It is said that at night, the ghost of Okiku emerges from the depths of the well, counting from 1 to 9 in a haunting, sorrowful cadence, searching for the missing 10th plate that was never found. When she reaches 9, her eerie wail fills the night air, sending shivers down the spine of anyone nearby. Visitors to Himeji Castle often find themselves drawn to this ghostly well, curious about the dark story behind its stones. Is it merely a tale spun from sorrow and local superstition, or is there something more unsettling lurking beneath the surface? The legend of Okiku has taken many forms over the centuries, weaving together different threads of folklore, history, and artistic imagination. One common version paints Okiku as a loyal servant whose tragic fate was sealed by a jealous samurai lord. Yet another tells of political intrigue, where the plates were simply a pretext for punishing a woman who dared to defy her master's will. Despite these variations, the core elements remain consistent. A missing plate, unfounded accusation, and the chilling presence of a restless spirit tied forever to the well. This story emerged in a particularly turbulent period of Japanese history, feudal Japan, when the rigid social hierarchy placed servants and samurai in sharply defined roles. Loyalty and honor were prized virtues, but accusations of theft or disloyalty could mean a swift and brutal punishment. The Okiku legend, true or not, reflects the harsh realities of this era, where a servant's life was often precarious and the line between justice and cruelty could blur dangerously. What makes the legend endure, perhaps, is the way it has been preserved and reshaped through various forms of Japanese culture. The tale of Okiku became especially popular during the Edo period, when storytellers, poets, and playwrights began to adapt it into different mediums. Notably, it found its way onto the stage in bunraku and kabuki theater, two classical Japanese performance arts known for their dramatic storytelling and stylized expression. In these performances, Okiku is often portrayed with a haunting beauty and tragic dignity, her ghostly counting a spine-tingling refrain that captivates audiences but also evokes deep empathy. The well itself, an unremarkable stone structure, has become a powerful symbol through these retellings. Locals and visitors alike are drawn to the spot, not just because of the ghost story, but because standing by the well feels like stepping into a liminal space where past and present merge. Some describe a strange chill in the air or a sudden sense of sadness when near the water's edge, adding to the well's mysterious atmosphere. Himeji Castle embraces the legend as part of its cultural heritage. Tourism materials often highlight the well and Okiku's story, creating a connection between history and folklore that enhances the castle's allure. Guided tours recount the chilling tale, sometimes encouraging visitors to listen carefully after dark. Local shopkeepers sell souvenirs depicting Okiku, and seasonal events occasionally dramatize her story, ensuring that the legend remains alive in public memory. There is, however, no concrete historical evidence that Okiku was a real person or that these events took place, as the stories claim. Historians treat the tale as a piece of unresolved folklore, reflective of social tensions and human fears rather than verified fact. Yet this ambiguity only deepens the legend's power. Without clear answers, the story invites curiosity and speculation, encouraging each new generation to ponder the mysteries beneath the surface of Himeji Castle's radiant walls. In the end, the Okiku legend endures because it speaks to something universal: injustice, loss, and the yearning for peace. The enduring power of Okiku's tale lies not just in its eerie details, but in the cultural space it occupies, a place where history, folklore, and human emotion intertwine. The legend persists because it touches upon deep-rooted themes that resonate across cultures and eras: injustice, betrayal, and the longing for justice. In Japan, ghost stories, or kaiden, have played a unique role in expressing societal fears and moral lessons, often using supernatural elements to reflect real human experiences. Okiku's well fits perfectly into this tradition. Even though there's no concrete proof that Okiku's spirit haunts the castle, the story remains a poignant reminder of the consequences of cruelty and abuse of power. It is this underlying message that helps the legend transcend generations. Moreover, the tale of Okiku serves as a cultural touchstone that explores the tension between social order and individual suffering during feudal times. The strict hierarchy of the samurai era often left little room for compassion or fairness, especially for servants like Okiku. Her tragic story, whether myth or reality, highlights the dark side of loyalty and obedience, a reminder that those at the bottom of the social ladder were vulnerable to harsh punishments without recourse. This unresolved tension keeps the legend relevant, prompting reflection on how power can corrupt and how injustice often goes unnoticed or unheard. The impact of Okiku's story extends beyond its historical and cultural roots into the broader realm of Japanese ghost stories. It helps shape the archetype of the vengeful female spirit, or onryo, whose sorrow and rage refuse to fade. This archetype appears in countless other tales, art, and modern media, influencing everything from traditional no and kabuki performances to contemporary films and literature. Okiku's image, a beautiful yet tragic ghost counting endlessly, has become one of Japan's most recognizable supernatural symbols, embodying the fragile boundary between life and death, hope and despair. The legend also invites ongoing speculation because of the many unresolved questions surrounding it. Who is Okiku really? Was she an innocent victim, or is the story a metaphor for something larger? Why do some visitors claim to sense her presence, while others feel nothing? These mysteries allow the story to evolve and adapt, inviting reinterpretation and personal connection. The well itself becomes a physical focal point for these questions, a silent witness holding centuries of unanswered whispers. This ambiguity fuels the imagination and maintains public fascination, making Okiku's well not just a relic of the past, but a living part of cultural storytelling. Ultimately, Okiku's well endures because it embodies the universal human experience of loss and unresolved grief. It reminds us that some stories refuse to fade away, echoing through time as warnings, memories, and whispers from beyond. Whether you view it as a ghost story, a historical allegory, or an expression of cultural identity, the legend of Okiku continues to captivate and unsettle, inviting each new generation to step closer to the edge of the well and listen carefully for the faint, haunting count of a spirit who still seeks what was lost.